Hi and welcome to Hihu, and in this video we'll be unwinding and taking things a little bit more casual. Sometimes you might not be in the mood to devour an intense 12+ hour long game. You might just want to sit back and do something a little bit more chill to take your mind off things. So in this video we'll be taking a look at one of those games. Now, this game could potentially go for an infinite amount of time, but it's perfect to play at your own leisure. The game I want to talk to you about is No Man's Sky. This game has come onto the scene recently and caused a bit of controversy and upset from consumers. And I'm not really going to go into it that much, as I view the game a little bit differently. But the game was made by a short number of staff at Hello Games. As game developers, they do have big ambitious goals to do a lot of things, but due to time and money constraints, a lot of those things were either untouched or not fully developed. And to be honest, yeah, I get that you might be pissed off at a bigger company, let's say EA and BioWare, if they pulled this type of shit. But this was made by a staff of 15 people or so. This isn't a AAA title, people. And that's where I want to talk to you about this game. The game's goal is to fly to the center of the universe. Each galaxy, planet, form of life is all procedurally generated. And whilst the palette to generate is still being developed on and not as broad as what people wanted, there still is enough for the game to constantly intrigue and allow for exploration while keeping things relatively fresh. I'm a big fan of walking simulators, and in No Man's Sky you will be walking. A lot. I mean, sometimes for 5 minutes without doing anything apart from mining, avoiding sentinels, and feeding wildlife. And if that doesn't sound fun, then don't buy this game. But if you are interested as to what the question mark 5 minutes away actually might be, and you want to see some strange life forms in irregular land masses as you are traversing the land, then this is a game for you to consider. The game is graphically simplistic yet beautiful, generally playing with highly contrasted colors being sprayed across each planet, with the day and night cycles offering different color palettes. Everything has a relatively soft aesthetic to them, and have generally smooth surfaces. More often than not though, I'll be taken away and I generally will end up being like, whoa, at my screen. Exploration for me is a big aspect of gaming. Take a sitcom on TV, for example. One might be Seinfeld, and Jerry might be talking to George about nothing, and in the background you'll see a bookshelf with some weird stuff on it. But you can't make it out because you have no control over the camera. The brilliant thing about video games is that you can go exploring those things and look at that bookshelf. This extends to every video game ever, from Call of Duty to The Last of Us, and then a game that's purely based around exploration being No Man's Sky. Granted that I'm flying to the center of the universe, and instead of looking at bookshelves, I'm exploring different planets. But that's where the intrigue and exploration really comes in. I never know what's next. Granted that I've been to a few planets and know what to expect from the procedurally generated smorgasbord that makes up this game, but it still leaves me wanting to find out what's on each planet. The intrigue also comes with the type of aliens that I'm going to find on each planet. Sometimes the aliens generated will leave you scratching your head, but the urge to land on a planet with these big or small wonderful creatures has me playing. Every time I land, in the back of my mind I want to see a big fantastical creature, like I've seen from other people online. The gameplay is simple. You start off on a planet after you and your spaceship have crashed. The general gameplay is harvesting minerals and properties to upgrade and craft things from system to system. You then have your general selling and buying from galactic markets and traders. You also have to manage your life support as well as keep an eye on your shields depending on the conditions of the planet that you are exploring on. Just some small micromanagement for what is a pretty carefree game. You also have enemies that can become hostiles, from alien life forms to sentinels. And then you also have your actual spaceships and flying. This is very much a simpler affair in terms of preserving fuel and then potentially fighting space pirates. You also have space stations to trade in, but the neatest progression I've appreciated in-game has been learning the alien languages. Starting off, you know next to nothing about what the common alien humanoids are saying to you. Often finding them in bunkers, ports, and in stations, these aliens offer a simple mechanic of saying something in gibberish, and you have to guess the appropriate response for technology advancements, and to increase your reputation with that alien race. But as the game progresses, you will uncover more words via tech or knowledge stones, and you start to understand parts of their language and hopefully be able to fully speak it. Whilst I haven't been able to fully uncover a lot of the languages, it's really cool that a game has been able to slowly implement and reward you for your travels. You might not know this, but let's take Mass Effect for example. Did you know that everyone in that game walks around with translators? They don't just universally speak English, it's just presented that way through the dialogue. Most of the time the player never questions the origin and capability of these things in science fiction with the whole cross-species conversations. I just think it's cool that we get to uncover and learn a language while slowly exploring these strange and wonderful galaxies. And I also just think the game is just relaxing. I've recently moved houses, and with the stress and the kerfuffle of moving places and also working full time, this game has been a delight to play after work, and I'm just so damn tired to do anything else. So yeah, the game didn't live up to the hype and expectations that was previously promised. It might come out in future patches, who knows, but let's be real, it's still a really relaxing yet intriguing game. A game that I can draw comparisons to, similar to No Man's Sky, is Lifeless Planet, an indie exploration game that has you traverse a planet whilst trying to understand what the hell happened. It's similar in terms of preserving oxygen whilst being careful with your jetpack usage when platforming from area to area, and I'm sure I'll review it somewhere down the line as I really enjoyed that game. Another game, well, artwork really, I can kind of draw comparisons to would be Proteus, another procedurally generated game that works more like an audio-visual artwork. But I can compare No Man's Sky to it being a sci-fi version of that game with actual gameplay elements. Now the game varies in cost at the moment depending on the console of choice and the sales that might be happening. It's just been released, so expect a full price slapped on it. I picked it up with a mild discount, and I can recommend if you're interested in this, then just say screw it and go out and buy it. It's a really worthwhile investment, and even if you play it for 30 minutes a day, it's just a relaxing experience to explore the unknown on each strange and wonderful planet. And it's also a game that I can imagine you can just pick up at any point. It's not like Skyrim where you might not know what mission you're in, or Fallout where you don't know what you're doing if you leave it for a week. Ignore the hate that the game has received and judge the game for what you want out of the game. If you want some fast-paced sci-fi action, play Mass Effect. That's an awesome series. However, if you've had a long day at work and you just want to feel alone and feel really small, then this is the game for you. If you like what you've seen here and you want to see more, hit the like and sub button. Let me know what you think of No Man's Sky and some of the planets you've uncovered, and maybe what you want out of the game in the future. This is Shawnee Maurice from Hihu. Thanks for watching.